What is up? What is up? Welcome in to Tide Talk Live. Stacey Blackwood, joined as always by my good buddy Jake Thomas for a special live edition of the show as we get ready to talk about Alabama's massive weekend in the transfer portal. Excited to dive into that. Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, Stacey. Glad to be back. It's been fun to keep up with everything. Now we get a chance to talk about it, and I'm excited, man. I know we're going to jump into it, but that revamped offensive line, I'm really, really excited to see what we can do this upcoming year.
Yeah, we'll talk all about that here in just a
Mhm.
few minutes. We are powered by the Believe Network and presented by FanDuel. Head on over to FanDuel right now. NFL playoffs are underway. Josh Allen and the Bills are getting stomped right now by Denver, but you can go bet on all the games in the NFL playoffs. And of course, you can also bet on Indiana, Miami in the college football playoff national championship game coming up on Monday night. Indiana is a 8.5 point favorite over at FanDuel. So if you want to make a bet, head on over to FanDuel right now, our presented partner here on Tide Talk Live. Jake, jam-packed show. Uh, going to dive into that. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. Jump in the live chat. We want to hear from you guys on Alabama's portal haul so far this weekend and kind of how big it's been for the Crimson Tide on both lines of scrimmage. Getting Terrence Green on the defensive line and, racing Delgatti and just the plethora of guys on the offensive line that this
Mhm.
coaching staff has hauled in this weekend. We are powered by the Believe Network, which makes us free and available wherever you find your podcast, whether it's Apple or Spotify. Just look for Tide Talk Live and give us a subscription there or a download. Jake, there's so much to talk about. What I want to talk about first, before we really dive too deep into all the guys that's been added this weekend. We got Redson Delgatti, Nick Brooks, Ethan Fields, and Terrence Green over the last basically 24 hours or
Yeah.
so.
Hmm.
So we'll talk about all those guys here in just a few minutes, but I just want to make a point, and we talked about it last weekend on our live show about how let's just remain calm and relax and let's see how things play out. And what a difference a week makes, Jake. And that's why we kept saying remain calm, relax, let's let things play out before we have some overreaction to what's going on in the portal. And I don't want to say that we were right. I just think we were more relaxed than what most fans were. And this is the reason why things were going to happen, and it happened over the last 24 hours or so. And Alabama's really made a big splash this weekend in the portal.
Yeah, Stacey, they have, and it's coming at a really good time. Kind of ease some guys and some fans, you know, thoughts and everything right now, minds at where this team is headed in the 2026 season. But like you said, we preached about just staying patient, let things play out. Now, getting did it sudden not getting Cam and Hollywood Smothers? Yeah, it sure it did though. But like we mentioned, those guys kind of like we're like luxury guys. We would love to have them, but they wasn't necessarily a need at for what we needed to improve on in the transfer portal. And one of the craziest things that I saw throughout the week was after I forgot who it was had committed to Alabama. Somebody tweeted out, Alabama's landing, people from like D2 schools and all that. Indiana is full of D2 schools, and guess what? They're in the national championship game this week.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe there's something there with getting D2 talent and bring them in and molding them and making them a team out of them guys. So let's just see how this coaching staff does with who they brought in before we make any rash judgments.
I agree. I think it's way too premature to have any sort of definitive, you know, thought on what this coaching staff is doing because the first 2 years of the Kalen DeBoer era is basically made up of a bunch of Nick Saban players, and that's not a bad thing.
Right,
But it's not Kalen DeBoer guys.
right.
And I think that does mean something. Kalen DeBoer goes about coaching his football teams and he goes about recruiting different types of players than what Nick Saban did.
Mhm.
And if Greg Byrne wanted another Nick Saban, he would have hired a Nick Saban disciple. But that's not the route he went. He went a totally different way. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different. And it's
Mhm.
too early in the process to have a definitive answer on whether or not this coaching staff is going to work out in Tuscaloosa or not. And it's definitely too early in the process to think that the players that they're bringing in are not gonna work because we haven't seen all of them on the field yet. So,
Right.
it's just way too early to have any kind of definitive, uh, reaction to what this coaching staff is doing, and, just like I mentioned a second ago, what a difference a week makes in terms of what Alabama looked like in the transfer portal this time around, and, a really good last 24 hours for this coaching staff addressing the 2 biggest needs on the team, the offensive line and the defensive line, and just a really good job of this coaching staff getting guys who have some experience at the Power 4 level, have some
Mhm.
experience at the FCS level, but also guys that you can develop that are not just one-year guys. You got guys that you can play and hopefully start for multiple years for your program. That's when you start building championship teams. So, I think a really good job by this coaching staff addressing positions of need over the last couple days.
Yeah, absolutely, Stacy. And you brought up, kind of the recruits that or the players that Kalen DeBoer has been dealt with, or dealt and handed to were Nick Saban guys, and what kind of offense Nick Saban want to run, that smash mouth, type offense where he wanted linemen who were huge and bully inside the trenches. Well, seems like the style of offense that DeBoer and Grubb runs, they need a finesse type offensive lineman. So now you're having more athletic offensive linemen being brought in. And you've seen that early on with recruiting as well on the offensive line this coaching staff has done. Now you're seeing it in the portal as well. You're not getting the 345, 350-pound guys. You're getting the more 315 to 325-pound guys who are a little bit more athletic than, say, a Caden Proctor is. Caden Proctor is really good and all that, but, he was not, I guess, super athletic as some of the guys we're bringing in now.
Yeah, and I think people have a misconception of, well, if you're not, recruiting these 350-pound offensive linemen, how are you gonna bully people? Well,
Mhm.
just because you're light on your feet doesn't mean you ain't got a nasty streak.
Right.
And I challenge you to go and watch these offensive linemen that Alabama has went out and got. The
Mhm.
Racing Delgado is he likes to hurt people.
Mhm.
Brooks likes to hurt people. Fields likes to hurt people. These guys got a nasty streak to them, like a Mike Carroll has. So
Mhm.
I think don't let this coaching staff deciding to go a little bit lighter on the offensive line lead you to believe that they don't want to be a physical team. So I
Right.
think that's a little bit of a misconception. Just because you might not be 340 doesn't mean you can't play a physical brand of football. So
Mhm.
just I mean, look at the way they ran the ball in 2023 at Washington with Dylan Johnson, Jake.
Yeah.
I think a 1,200-yard rusher,
Mhm.
and I think the heaviest guy they had that year on the offensive line was 320. So
Right.
uh, you can still run the football with a lighter group up front, depending on what kind of how you kind of scheme it and do it. So I'm not worried about recruiting lighter guys on the offensive line. I think that's what this coaching staff wants, and it
Mhm.
really makes a lot of sense looking at who they've signed so far in this portal class. And we've talked about. I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. People are always worried about these guys that DeBoer and them are bringing in because it's not these. They're not going out and spending millions and millions of dollars on these high profile names. Go back and look at who the 3 most consistent offensive players were for this Alabama football team in 2025. It was
Right.
Josh Cuevas, it was Jeremy Bernard, and it was Parker Brailsford. All were Kalen DeBoer guys that he recruited. Probably the highest ranked kid out of all of them coming out of high school, I know it was Jeremy Bernard. He was kind of a lower 4-star ranked player. He
Mhm.
wasn't just a super, super elite recruit.
Mhm.
Parker Brailsford, a 4-star guy, just barely a 4-star guy. Josh Cuevas, another Cal Poly guy, just like
Mhm.
Racing Delgado. I
Right.
mean, everybody laughed at Josh Cuevas. Who's laughing now? He was one of the best pass catching tight ends in the SEC, and he's going to make some money in the NFL playing football. So
Mhm.
let's just trust this coaching staff knows what they're doing and can kind of find those diamond in the roughs and build some quality depth on your football team. And I'm just really excited to kind of see them put it to work and see what they can develop there in Tuscaloosa. And just it's been a lot of fun to see how they've kind of navigated this portal over the last couple of weeks because yes, they got off to a little bit of a slow start. You could even say a rough start with, you lose all those guys at the beginning. You think you have Hollywood Smothers. He flips to Texas. You don't get Cam Coleman. And it kind of looks a little bleak if you're an Alabama fan. And I get it. I understand it if it feels that way. but that's why you have to be patient and kind of trust. I titled the live yesterday, "Trust the process." It is a process. Trust that
Right.
this coaching staff is going to get the job done, and you saw that kind of pay off over the last 24 hours, and they've done a really nice job of kind of solidifying and bulking up both the offensive and defensive lines. So just looking forward to seeing how they continue that. And there's potentially more to come because guys can commit, well on into February. I think it's around February 13th when they have to be enrolled for kind of part two of this spring semester at the University of Alabama.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, the portal is closed, but that's people jumping in. So all the
Correct.
ones that's still in there, they can still sign. And that's another thing I want to bring up, Stacey. You brought up about, they kind of got off to a slow start, and maybe so, like you said, but a lot of the guys that I think like Green, Terrence Green did not jump in the portal until just I think a few days ago, maybe a week
Yeah,
ago.
when Oregon was put out, I mean,
Right.
there was
So
still 4 teams
right.
playing
Yeah.
at last
So
weekend. So you just got to be patient, guys.
right, you got to be patient because I mean, I don't. Racing Delgatti didn't come out as soon as their season ended. I think he waited maybe a few days. So some of these guys didn't jump in until maybe a week after the portal was already
Correct.
open.
Correct.
So the coaching staff was probably planning, probably recruiting and looking at everybody's and trying to scheme and see what was a best fit for their offense and their defense, and they made moves when they need to, and boy, had they ever this weekend.
Yep. All right, before we kind of start diving into the guys that's committed over the last 24 hours, let's look at a couple the chats real quick. Brock the Baller says Roll Tide, 2 big commits today. Absolutely. Mike says Portal looking good now. Absolutely. Done a good job the last few days. Kind of I don't want to say closing strong because it's not over yet, but they've
Right.
done a really nice job of bringing in some high end talent and some quality depth to fill out their roster.
And we
Uh,
still got two teams playing who have guys who I think they get maybe a 5-day window to jump in after their season ends. So
mhm.
we could pull somebody from Miami or Indiana as well. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's still that opportunity for sure.
Right.
James says RTR.
Hmm.
Brock the Baller says, "How do you feel about Coach Cap?" Uh, I'm, I've been, and I know it's never good, especially if you're a podcaster, to not have a definitive opinion on something. But I try to be fair, and I'm always going to tell you how I feel. Um, do I think Alabama could? Do I think Alabama needs better offensive line coaching? Yes. Do I think it's fair to over criticize Coach Cap when Alabama was having to play offensive linemen that didn't fit the scheme that this coaching staff wants to run?
Right.
So I would be okay with another year with Coach Cap, but I would also understand and be behind a change if a change was made. I know that's riding the fence, and but that's just how I feel. I can't change how I feel. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Stacy. It's kind of hard to. I mean, it's easy to put the blame on him when the offensive line struggled, but again, the scheme of this offense, maybe the guys that were there were not up to scheme and right for the offense, and the offensive line just never gelled together this year. So it's easy to blame it on coaching, but maybe the scheme had about 50% to do with it as well. About half coach and half scheme. So maybe if a change happens, great. And I think Kalen DeBoer knows what's best for his, moving forward. We've already talked about that. If he wants to thrive here in Tuscaloosa, he's going to have to make some tough decisions. This may be one of them. But if he feels like we're going to give Cap another year to let the new guys who kind of fit our scheme, I'm fine with that as well. Only Kalen DeBoer knows what Kalen DeBoer is going to do.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, I think it makes sense if you look at all the exodus of the offensive linemen. There was a bunch of them that left in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them was recruited by this current Alabama coaching staff, and that was Micah DeBose.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I heard, he just wasn't. He didn't. This coaching staff didn't see him developing the way they thought he would in their system. They still think he's a good player. He just wasn't fitting to what they were wanting to do. So I think that tells you a lot about what they thought about the offensive line they had there. That look, we got to find the dudes that fit what we want to do, and that's why you've seen such a focus on the offensive line in this portal cycle, both in guys that left and then guys you brought in as well.
Yeah, and then I think one of the reasons why you didn't see Carroll leave is because they probably told him that he's done perfectly and fits their scheme moving forward. So I really like that we did get Carroll back at least to solidify that right side.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he has a chance to be a superstar, and I think he can be a superstar at tackle. I think he can be a
Yeah,
superstar at guard. And
man.
I just he's a stud, man. And the way he kind of stepped up for Alabama halfway through the season at right tackle as a true freshman, that's big time, man. That's big time. Not many kids can do that. So
Going through
super,
the gauntlet in the
yeah,
SEC too. Good
super
night.
excited about the future of Big Mike Carroll, who is
Absolutely.
another guy who just plays with a nasty streak, man, just
Right.
nasty.
Right.
Brock says he
Hmm.
feels the same way. He's had success everywhere he's been. I mean,
Hmm.
you know, he was extremely well respected in the industry. So,
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, just take that for whatever it's worth.
Hmm.
All right, before we start diving into some of these guys, Jake, once again, we are proudly presented by FanDuel, our brand new sponsor here on the show. Excited about the partnership we have with FanDuel. Go ahead, head over to FanDuel right now. Place your bets on the NFL playoffs that are underway. We got who's up tonight? Is it Seattle and LA? Is that tonight?
But maybe
No, it's Houston. Houston. Yeah,
Houston
no, no,
and
no, no, no. It is.
no
It's
in
Seattle and
Seattle.
it's San Francisco at the
That's
49ers.
yep.
Or no, San Francisco 49ers are at Seattle. I'll get it right in a second.
Yeah.
Seattle is a 6.5 point favorite. Of course, Sam Darnold's dealing with an oblique injury, but
Hmm.
I do think he's going to play. But if you want to make a bet there, head on over to FanDuel right now and place that bet. Also, don't forget the college football playoff national championship game is coming up on Monday night. Indiana is currently a 8.5 point favorite. They're in Miami's backyard. Home field advantage for
Yeah.
Miami, even though I bet Indiana fans may outnumber Hurricane fans. That's going to be interesting to see. But if you want to make a bet on the college football playoff national championship, head on over to FanDuel right now to place your bet. Jake, let's start with some of these guys that's recently committed. Let's start with I'm going to call him my second favorite of the four that we're going to talk about. Racing Delgatti, the interior offensive lineman from Cal Poly, a guy who I think and believe will be a plug and play starting center for this Crimson Tide team going into 2026.
Yeah, when his name got brought up a couple of days ago that we was interested in him and trying to get him on campus, and we in our Discord you had posted Racing Delgado. I was like, man, I just love the dude's name. I just want him on the team just for his name. Then I got to start watching film, and dude, he like you said, he's got a mean streak. I think he's going to fit really really well here in Tuscaloosa. And I saw something this morning that said that if Talladega did not sponsor him and give him some kind of NIL deal, that we missed a golden opportunity because of his name. So, but overall, the kid, I'm excited to see him at center. If he's going to be the center, probably move Horn outside, Staghorn, Stray Horn out to guard. So we'll see how that works. But I'm excited about this kid, man.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a really good player. I think fans are going to be surprised at how good of a center this kid can be for this team. And you mentioned how if you get him, you can probably slide, or they may even have a competition with him and Strayhorn, maybe Will Sanders at center as well. So I think what I like most is it's just another guy to plug in there into the competition, and then you're going to get the feel for who your best five dudes are. So you've got some really good depth, but I have a lot of confidence that Racing Delgatti has the potential to be the starting center for Alabama. Maybe slide a Strayhorn to right guard, and you got Mike Carroll at right tackle. So a really good. I mean, I know we're taking a flyer on some of these guys because we haven't seen a ton of them play, but I love the style of guys that they've gotten. If you
Mhm.
go and watch every one of these guys, they're mean, they're
Yeah.
nasty. I mean,
Hmm.
that's they may not be the biggest guys, but they're nasty.
Yeah.
Strayhorn's nasty.
Hmm.
Delgatti's nasty.
Yep.
And so what this does is just more guys there on the interior for you to compete and find out who your best 3 options are gonna be, at the interior offensive line positions, and Del Gotti has a chance to be, I think, a really good center for this Alabama football team. 2 years of eligibility remaining as well.
And that's another thing about this the guys that they brought in, Stacy, is a lot of them they're not on one and done guys. They're going to be there for a couple years. So that's another you're going to have multiple years with this offensive line group. So that's good to see as well.
Yeah, I think Del Gotti is a really nice pickup for this team, and then you get another one on Friday night, Jake, with Nick Brooks, the transfer from Texas. Now,
Mm,
a lot of fans are surprised at how of this coaching staff taking this kid because we've talked so much about the style of lineman they're recruiting, and he's the complete opposite. This is a massive human being at
mhm.
6'7", probably 350, maybe even 360,
Right.
just a really big kid, but when you go and watch him play, he
Mhm.
is pretty light on his feet, I think he can play maybe down the road tackle, but I like him at guard, Jake, the way he can pull and get out in space and the way he kinda buries people on the interior and got some starts there for Texas, I think 4 starts last year as a true freshman, for the Texas Longhorns, so I really like this pickup as well. Just another guy that has some powerful experience, has started some college football games to go in there and compete for a starting spot on this offensive line.
Yes, I see. I saw some film on him this morning, and I think it was against Arkansas or Oklahoma, one of the games that Texas played against him, and he was pulling on the right hand side and just absolutely obliterated the corner on that end. So you talk about a mean streak with these guys. These guys have a mean streak for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Duke, for shouting that
Thanks,
out.
Duke.
Make sure you do
Mhm.
give this video a like. Jump in the live chat, guys. We'd love to answer any questions or talk shop with you. Jake, another offensive lineman on Saturday morning, Ethan Fields from Ole Miss, another interior guy, 6'2", around 320, from Louisiana, but an Ole Miss transfer. Another guy with multiple years of eligibility remaining, and just another guy that you can plug in there and make compete for a starting spot. I mean, that's what this is about. You have to have depth on the offensive line,
Right.
and you have to have competition. If you want a really good offensive line, you gotta have really good competition, and what I like is that now you're bringing in guys who have experience
Mhm.
playing games, whether it's at the FCS level, the power or the group of 5 level, the power 4 level, SEC, whatever it is, they've played in college football games, and that is gonna help you build a more deeper, stronger offensive line and guys that you have seen play in college football games, and now they can compete for starting spots on the offensive line. And I think you're seeing this coaching staff say, "Look, we have to be better up front. There's no question, but we have to be better on the offensive line. We need more competition, and we need guys competing that fit what we want to do in terms of how we play our offensive line." And that's what they've done. And landing the Ethan Fields is just another example of that.
Yes, I see. I haven't watched a lot of film on Ethan Fields yet, but just talk what comment off of what you've talked about. Just bringing in guys who have some experience, and me, you have talked a lot, and about how you need at least guys with experience, 6, 7, deep on the offensive line because injuries do happen. So you need somebody who has some experience to get plugged in and play. Ethan Fields brings in that experience. He's played in the SEC, much like Brooks has done. So that's a good quality that this coaching staff has done. They brought in guys who not only have some experience, but they got SEC experience as well.
Rick and Bonnie says, "I hope we can fix the running game," and I think
Mhm.
it's obvious to me that that was the primary focus of this coaching staff so far in the offseason is
Mhm.
addressing the running game.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's about look, the coaching staff. Now, if you're Coach DeBoer and this coaching staff, the I don't want to say excuses, but we'll just call them excuses are out the window.
Mhm.
They're gone because now you have brought in guys that you wanted.
Right.
So now you can't say, well, these guys don't fit. And then you'll say, well, why not? You're the one who recruited them.
Mhm.
So now you've gotten Saban's offensive line out of the room and you
Mhm.
brought in your own dudes, what can you do with them? So
Right.
now it's time for this coaching staff to invest in these kids and get the most out of them and see if they can get that running game going there in Tuscaloosa. And I think it's going to be better. The one thing, it can't be much worse than what it was in 2025. And it's obviously something this coaching staff wanted to address, given the fact that they've really, really hammered in on the offensive line in this transfer portal cycle. Big Bama says, "Roll Tide, roll Tide."
Roll
Thank you so
Tide.
much for watching. If you're watching right now, please make sure you hit that like button and jump in the live chat and let us know your thoughts on Alabama's portal class so far and how they've kind of had a really strong weekend here uh, over the last couple of days, really the last 24 hours or so since Racing Delgado kind of got it going. Then we saw two more offensive linemen after him, and then just a couple hours ago, Jake. To me, one of the biggest gets of this entire portal class is Terrence Green, the interior defensive lineman from Oregon, a massive, massive dude at 6'5", 330. Uh, to me, he's like it's almost like getting Tim Keenan back.
Right.
That's what it's like. It's almost like you're getting Tim Keenan back. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be as rock steady and just so good at doing his particular job as what TK was, but this is almost as good as getting Tim Keenan back. And getting Terrence Green is just a massive get for this defensive line.
Yeah, you kind of like you said replaced Tim Keenan on that interior. So this guy right here is probably going to take double teams, which is going to allow somebody to come maybe free on the edge or have a good shot at getting the quarterback. But this kid can also play as well. He don't have a lot of flashy stats, but he's gritty and he does his job on the field, and that is to command double teams and allow somebody else to make the play.
Yeah, I mean, when you play the nose tackle spot, when you're head up on the center, your job is to take up blocks and to
Mhm.
not give up ground.
Right.
That's what Tim Keenan did, and that's
Mhm.
what Terrence Green can do and has
Mhm.
done and will do for Alabama. And I also think what that allows you to do is, they bring in Devin Tompkins from USC, and a lot of people thought, and I even thought originally that maybe this kid was going to be a James Smith type player, where he's kind of a defensive tackle. Well, now that I think about how they've addressed the defensive line in the portal, maybe this is a guy they're going to play at Bandit.
Right.
Maybe they bring in Tompkins and, he's maybe 280, 290. Maybe they drop him down to 275 to 280 and he plays that bandit position. And man, that would just be because you still got guys like Jeremiah Beeman, you got London Simmons, Isaiah
Mhm.
Faga.
Yeah.
I mean, Edric Hill. I mean, you
Mhm.
got some dudes on that defensive line now, Jake, and all them guys have played football now. All them guys are experienced Power 4 football players. That
Yeah.
is massive. That is
It is.
massive for your defensive line. So, Freddie Roach has got a good group to coach this year, and I'm excited to see what they can do. And they may not be done in terms of the
Right.
defensive line, the front seven. They're hosting the kid from South Carolina, whose name's escaping me right now. If somebody's got it in the chat, put it up
Yeah.
there. But I think this would be a pretty good get too if they could land that. He would be more of a Wolf guy, which
Mhm.
we kind of need another Wolf just for depth purposes. I think he could also maybe bulk up and play some Bandit as well, kind of be more of a Quay Russaw type guy where he could play Wolf or Bandit because he's big enough. And then also from a Bandit perspective, you got to think, does Jamarian Latham get his extra year of eligibility because of injury? So we'll kind of see what happens there. Yeah, Desmond, I can't say his last name, from
Yeah.
South Carolina. Yeah,
You
he's in town for a visit right now.
Yumi
Somebody, yeah, I'm
Luzulu.
not even going to try. I'm not even going to try.
Right. Yeah, but
Thank you, Duke Toga, for giving that.
yeah,
I could not think of that.
yeah. Thanks, Duke, for that. But yeah, I don't think we're done with this portal class for sure. There's still some guys I think we want to try to snag. I've seen people talk about maybe getting another edge guy, which this is one. Maybe get another receiver. I don't really think it's much of a necessary. Maybe just for depth purposes.
Well, they definitely need a
Yeah.
receiver for depth. I
Yeah.
mean, they ain't got but
So,
6 right now.
right. So, get some, but you don't have to have a flashy name, I don't
No, no,
think.
no,
You
no,
just get
no. Well,
somebody. So,
and excuse me, they have 7 because
yeah.
MJ Sherwin, the
That's
walk
right.
on from last year, has decided to come back out
Come
of the
back.
transfer portal, and he's now
Yeah,
on scholarship at Alabama. So they got
that's
7
right.
dudes, and
Mhm.
he's not a bad player, Jake. I mean, I
No,
think I think for a 7th guy, that's a pretty solid get in this
absolutely.
era of the transfer portal and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was excited to see him come back for sure. So yeah, that Alabama's not done this portal class. I think they've done really, really well in this portal class, and I hate the portal standings because I think we're like 50th, which is so stupid. I don't want to grade get a grade out early until I see what the product is on the field. But if we're going off by needs, this team has filled the needs that it is needed to do, and that is address the offensive line, address the defensive line.
Absolutely. I mean, I think in terms of, like you said, did the coaching staff address the needs of the team?
Mm-hmm. 100,
100%.
100%.
Now it's the coach's job to get these dudes ready to play and
Mhm.
show up on Saturdays in the fall.
Yep.
And that's a wait and see process.
Right. Yep. So we'll see, man. I'm excited about how the team's shaping up so far. We got plenty of time to talk about them. So yeah, I really like the class that we have coming in, not only in the recruiting class but also in the transfer class as well.
Yeah. So, Chad, any questions about the portal? I mean, you got anything to add from the portal in terms of, maybe some positions you're still worried about? Maybe some thoughts on some of the guys they've kind of signed so far. JT's here.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
JT, watching on
Thank
X.
you. Appreciate it.
Right now, we got
Go
about
Tide.
100 people between X and YouTube watching. So we appreciate everybody tuning in the show. Um,
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, Stacey.
okay,
Since
okay, we'll get to that.
big dash, I guess has L6L or
Yeah, I can't.
I6I. Yeah, I'm not, but he brought up the running back room. So just say we already know who we got coming in and who's staying, and just say we don't bring in anybody on the your confidence level in this running back class or this running back room for next year. You know, how do you feel about it?
I don't know, man, because I think Daniel Hill's a good player. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's not great. He's good.
Right,
Kevin Riley's a decent player. I think AK Deer has a chance to be a really good player, but he's got to prove it.
right.
Um, and I'm excited about Crowell. I think he can be special. I really believe. I
Mhm,
believe EJ Crowell can be a special, special football player,
mhm.
but that's not always a guarantee. So, I
Right.
mean, I have my trepidations about the running back room. I think we're good enough there
Mhm.
to win. I mean, I do, but it's just going to be, can they put it together and can the offensive line do their job? So
Right.
it's just kind of wait and see, man. And I'll dive more into the actual position groups, as the off season continues. Uh, just that's going to be a lot of fun, and that's going to be a lot of work because there's a lot of new faces around this team.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think EJ will probably get a lot of playing time early on, but you know, with AK Deer coming back, I just feel like the staff has told him he's going to have a much more improved role
I think so
this
too.
year
I
too.
think so
I
too.
mean, and I think he was the only one that that busted a 50-yard plus run
He
for a
is.
touchdown last year. So I just think this kid, like you said, he's got a chance to be special. Just got to get out there and prove it, but he's got to have playing time. So, hopefully, and I like Dan Hill as well, but I feel like you need a couple of different style of backs in this day of college football. So you got the Bruiser and Daniel Hill. You have the speedsters and Raleigh and Deer, and I'm not sure exactly where EJ fits and all that. I don't know if he's like a bruiser or a
He's
speedster.
all of it. He's all of it.
He's a
That's
5
why he's
player.
special. I mean,
Right.
that's why he's special.
Yeah. So, I'm excited. It's going to be not a lot of, outside of Daniel Hill, not really a lot of experience, but I think they're going to be good enough. And depending on how EJ does, I know they're going to be a lot better than what they were last year. They have to be because they can't be much worse.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and that's going to be a topic of conversation
Hmm.
the entire offseason is
Right.
how much better will this running game get?
Hmm.
I mean, that's going to be the focus of everybody's uh offseason in terms of Alabama football because they have to get better running the football. They just have
Yep.
to. They just have to.
Right. And that's a very good comment right there. If the line doesn't block, you ain't got, you know
Yeah,
what? I
you
mean,
don't.
that's very true. It
But
all starts up front.
yeah, and to be fair, it was mostly offensive line, but I do think the running backs were a little hesitant.
Yeah.
I think they probably lost confidence a little bit in that the offensive line was going to get the guys blocked, and it probably made them second guess themselves on where they were supposed to go with the football, and so it was more than one thing, but definitely if the offensive line don't block, I don't care if you've got I guess
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders
Yeah.
about the only one because he never had anybody blocking for him, and he still
Right.
somehow ran all over the place. But
Oh,
we
no.
ain't got Barry Sanders.
Right. There's only one of them guys for sure. Yeah, that's another thing too. Duke brings up you cannot go away from the run after 3 series in a ball game. You know, I just
Yeah, see, and that's another point
yeah.
that we haven't really discussed so far today was
Mhm.
we talked about how the coaching staff is wanting to get better running the football, and that's kind of made evident by the way they've recruited offensive linemen in the portal. Also, with what they've done at the tight end room, Jake, bringing in Josh Ford, who is basically will be like a six offensive lineman for you when he's on the field.
Right.
6'5", 260, uh, and a guy that can block in space as well on the perimeter. So yes, they are addressing blocking needs at tight end as well. And that's one thing we took for granted in
Oh
the
yeah.
2024 season, having CJ Dupree and Robbie Oots,
Hmm.
both extremely good blockers in the running game. That really helped Alabama. It helped cover up a lot of Alabama's problems on the offensive line, run blocking, because you had two really good blocking tight ends. They didn't have that this last year. Danny Lewis was hurt all year. He was our best blocking tight end. Josh
Hmm.
Cuevas that's not his game. He's a receiving tight end. He's a
Right.
playmaking tight end. Caleb Edwards and Marshall Pritchett were true freshmen. They're not ready to go and block SEC dudes for 60 minutes. They're just not
Right.
ready,
Yep.
and you can't expect them to be. And
Hmm.
so missing those physical tight ends in the running game really hurt Alabama's running game this year too. So that's also a very important part of this coaching staff making an effort to improve that this offseason as well.
Absolutely, Stetson. You know, we talked about how just getting Danny Lewis healthy at any point last year would have helped because he is, like you said, our best blocking tight end, but he just couldn't never get healthy to the end of the year. So, but I'm excited about what this offense is going to look like, and I think it's going to be a lot better. We're going to be able to dive into the quarterback situation. That's going to be a lot of fun. Really, really excited to see how that's going to play out. We talked a little bit about the wide receivers. So I'm excited about the season, man. And you brought up about the defensive line having a lot of experience. I feel like our secondary, just because I think I saw something the other day that said there's over like 3,000 career like snaps throughout our entire secondary. It's going to be
Yeah.
definitely be the strength of our team. But that defensive line is going to be a strength as well, I do believe.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, you're returning your top five defensive backs.
Right.
Dijon Lee, Zabian Brown, Red Morgan, Bray Hubbard, and Keon Sapp.
God, that's incredible.
Plus, you got Zay Mincy back. You got Ivan Taylor back.
Yeah.
You're bringing in Jira Edwards, who I think has a chance to play early.
Hmm.
He's a grown, what man.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, the secondary is going to be really good. Mo Linquist has got a group back there
He does.
in the defensive backfield,
Mhm.
and I'm with you. I think the defensive line is low key going to be pretty solid.
I
I
do
think
too.
I, if I had a position of concern on the defensive line, it would be Bandit because
Hmm.
I'm not sure how good I think Devin Thomas is a good player,
Hmm.
but he's obviously not going to be an LT Overton.
Right.
So we'll just kind of have to wait and see on that.
Yep. Duke. So, yeah.
Just need one more thing on D, and that's a true dog, an inside linebacker. And well, the thing is we may have that, we just haven't seen him yet
Right.
because, none of the younger guys were going to play last year when you had three senior guys at off ball linebacker and Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, and Nikai Hill Green. But I've heard from within the program that the coaching staff really likes Caden Jones. They like QB Reese.
Hmm.
They like all those young linebackers. Luke Metz is a guy that we don't need to forget about. And
Yeah.
then they bring in Caleb Woodson, the kid from Virginia Tech, who's an experienced player, a former defensive back, super, super athletic. plays sideline to sidelines, gets downhill in a hurry, in a hurry. And so I think inside linebacker is going to be a little better than what people expect, despite losing so much production experience in that room.
Yeah, I think so too, Stacy. And just bringing a guy in like Woodson with experience is going to help. Even if you have two guys like QB Reeves or Luke Metz or Caden Jones out out there beside him, um, he'll be able to help them out and help them grow at that position.
Well, the good news is this coaching staff, they usually play at least 3 off-ball linebackers,
Mhm.
and they may play even more than that this year
Right.
considering they're probably gonna be trying to find which guy is best, and we can't forget about a kid, Xavier Griffin, Jake, the true freshman
Hmm.
coming in. I think he can play wolf, I think he can play inside linebacker. He's the next Jahad Campbell. I mean,
Yeah.
so, I think he has a chance to get some early playing time as well, and that's a name to watch
Hmm.
coming up. And man, all these topics being brought up in the chat are getting me excited to start these position previews as we get ready for spring football, which is 50 days or so away from them starting spring football practice. So, uh, I guess hey, let's just leave it up to the chat real quick. An unofficial poll, just one word response. Uh, what position do you want us to do our first preview on uh, going into the spring? It can be offense, defense, any position group. Just let us know whether it's the quarterbacks, the running backs, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary, whatever it is. Let us know. Everybody right now in the chat that's watching the live show, jump in there and give us what position group you'd like for us to break down first. And if you're
Special
watching
teams.
at special teams, hey, which we have all new specialists as well. I think the
Right.
coaching staff
Mhm.
really said, "Look, we got to be better there too." And so they made some additions in the portal there too. So if you're watching the live show, jump in there right now and give us what position group you'd like for us to break down first. And then also, if you're watching the post live show, jump in the comments below and give us what position group you'd like for us to break down. We got to vote for offensive line. I imagine that's going to be the overwhelming. I think if FanDuel was putting out odds for this,
Yeah.
offensive line would be the favorite.
Oh yeah. Probably by at least 65, 70%, maybe more.
uh, Jake, is there anything else you want to add on the 4 guys that Alabama's got in the last 24 hours?
I think we've covered them pretty well, Stacey. I mean, we got absolute dogs, I do believe, and all them guys, and I'm excited to see them get to work this spring and see how it's all going to unfold.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some
Well,
votes are piling
3.
in, and it's
It's a runaway already.
offensive line is running away with it. We'll obviously wait and see what people who watch the post live show say in the comment section, but it's looking like offensive line may run away with this one. So not too surprised there. Not too surprised there.
I we've already talked about the team. I just want to go off the rails just real quick. I want to shout out the basketball team,
Mhm.
for a gritty win today. Coming back from being 11 down at halftime on the road, that was a great win for them.
Two road games in a row where you're overcoming having to overcome double digit deficits to get a win. So
Mhm.
finding ways to win is, I
It's
mean,
huge.
that's what you got to do in the SEC on the road, and Nate Oates and his team have been able to do that. Man, Aiden Sherrill has just been a
Sure.
beast the last 2 games, Jake,
I
an
love it.
absolute beast.
Yeah, he's starting to play like an all SEC center, like it was said in our Discord earlier. I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now, which is great for us moving forward.
Hey, and by the way, if you want to, just chit chat with us throughout the day, every single day,
Mhm.
join our Discord server. It's completely free, obviously, and we have a lot of fun. There's a lot of good conversations that we have going on in there, whether it's about the portal, about basketball, football, just whatever it is. We have a lot of good conversations going on in our Discord server. So make sure you follow the link uh, on our channel to our Discord server because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that game had my heart going at the end. Yeah.
For
Ooh.
sure. When Alabama gets called for the continuation foul on the
Oh
three-point shot, I thought,
gosh.
"Good grief, if we lose this game because of that, I'm going to go ballistic."
Yeah. I was like, man, I think you said it in the chat in Discord, Stacy. This team just finds ways to
they make
just
it.
not have this. Yeah,
My quote
yeah.
was, "We make it harder on ourselves than we have to."
Right. Yeah. I'm like, good night. But there was stressful there at the end for sure.
But I mean, just win, baby, just win.
That's
I
a
mean,
win.
you just got to
Don't matter
keep
if it's a
winning, and
2 point win or 30-point win. It's a win.
yeah, and credit to the guys. You know, they lost 2 SEC games in a row, and they've bounced back and won 2 in a row, both on the road, and now they got Tennessee at home next. Is that what day? What day is that?
Is that Wednesday or
I can't remember.
let's look real quick. No, that's next Saturday.
Yeah, it's
So
Saturday. Yeah,
Saturday. So
so
yeah,
they got a week off.
they got a week off and maybe get healthy.
Yeah, right.
Besides
We'll add
Russell.
6 guys to the
Yeah.
availability report by
Since
then.
we're gonna be practicing all week, everybody be hurt. Oh man. Yeah.
All right, guys, y'all keep the live chat going. We'll hang on a few more minutes if
Yeah.
y'all are still tuned in. Um, just a couple quick things. I can't tell you how much I like the Terrence Green edition.
I know.
That's the guy. I mean, anytime you get a big dude on the defensive line, that's a space eater. That's a block eater. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the kind of dude you got to have, and that's a big get after losing TK.
Yeah, and that's somebody that you talked about in Discord that you was wanting,
The
and felt like
moment
he was
he
gonna.
entered the portal, I'm like,
Yeah,
go get him,
right.
go get him.
And this coaching staff, and of course we need to give a lot of credit to Courtney Morgan as well. He's got out
Hmm.
there and done a lot of our GM's done a lot of great things in recruiting as well. So man, them guys, they never stop working for sure. It kind of looked bleak, like we said, the first early on in the portal cycle, but like I said, just let it play out, and we're letting it play out now, and they're finally getting guys who kind of not only fits needs but fits schemes moving forward for this team.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. If there's nobody has anything else in the live chat, we'll start to wrap this show up. We certainly appreciate everybody that joined us today on the live edition of the show. Been a lot of fun to talk about this massive portal haul that this coaching staff has delivered over the past 24 hours or so, and there's still a chance they make some noise over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel here on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever or however you watch or listen to our show. Make sure you're subscribed. Still, between 70 and 80% of our audience is not subscribed on YouTube. Doesn't
Wow.
cost you anything. Just jump down there and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. Once again, we are powered by the Believe Network. So if you prefer the audio version of the show, that is powered by the Believe Network, who puts it out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbeam, just wherever you get your podcast, you can find Tide Talk Live. And we are presented by FanDuel, uh, the go-to spot for all your sports betting needs. If you want to place a bet, whether it's on the NFL playoffs or the college football national championship game, go do that on FanDuel right now. Like I said, Indiana is a 8.5-point favorite over Miami. The over and under is sitting at 47.5. So if you think Fernando Mendoza is going to get it done, or if you think uh, the Hurricanes can pull off the massive upset, go place that bet on FanDuel right now, our presenting partner here at Tide Talk Live. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all the support we received over the last couple of months. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to be continuing to do these shows, rolling out shows, live shows, pre-recorded shows, all throughout the week and all throughout the off season. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right here at Tide Talk Live, and just appreciate all the support. But for Stacey Blackwood and Jake Thomas, has been Tide Talk Live. Until next time, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.